Welcome to PastMaster, the show that answers the question, could you survive and thrive if you were sent back in time? Each week, using the power of our AI-generated narrator, we send our hero back to a different era of history and find out whether they can master the past or if they'll fail and burnt at the stake for being a witch. Funnily enough, we've never actually got to a point where somebody's attempted to burn us at the stake for being a witch, so maybe we need to put that in the props. Let's jump in.
So anyway, how's everyone's week been then?
I got so inspired by how well my revolution went in Egypt that, yeah, I've really gone for it with the beard. You noticed it's longer. The reason why it's longer, and I'm pretty embarrassed why I'm even admitting this, I bought a beard straightener.
We're going to have to put you on Instagram so that the viewers know.
No, that's okay. But I bought a beard straightener. Basically, I do want to have a nice full beard, but it does grow so entangled, so curly. So I thought if I get this straightener, and what it's basically done is just increase the length of my beard quite significantly because it's straightened it. So yeah, there is definitely Keper vibes, and who knows what it's going to turn into.
I think quite a lot of your PastMaster incarnations, they've all had beards, haven't they? Yeah, you were a Viking with a big beard.
Just a big burly man, yeah, which is ironic considering what I really am in real life.
How's your week been, Ryan?
Fittingly enough, given that we have a podcast about time travel, I have lost all sense of time. I don't know whether it's been, a month or whether it's been a couple of days, but having a newborn baby in the house really messes with reality. So yeah, getting about 2-3 hours sleep and not knowing what day it is. But it's been also absolute joy. So very strange, stressful, exciting times being a new parent.
Oh.
How about you? Any more injuries, Tan?
No, I've got a bit of a hurty heel. It's called plantar fasciitis for the medical nerds out there. It's like you've got like a little I think it's a tendon or ligaments that go from the back of your leg round under your foot, and they're getting very hurty because I'm got a very thuddy footstep when I'm running around apparently. So yeah, another ache and pain.
You're too heavy-footed.
Too heavy, yeah, just too heavy basically.
No, but you stomp.
Yeah, too much of a stomper.
Well, yeah. Do you want to stomp through history then and show us what you got?
Just a bit, mate. Just a bit. Let's see. Let's go. I'm pumped for it. We've just made a few changes to the prompt this week, haven't we, Ryan? And I think what we're going to change is that we are going to challenge GameMaster to pick a world-famous character from popular culture and embody that role throughout the game. It's not going to tell us who it is, but if we guess, then we get a point. And we're also moving away from a lives system where you lose life if you do something very, very silly.
Temporarily, I think we just want to try something different this time.
Just for fun, we're going to have a point system where I think you start on 5 points. If you do something naughty or very silly, you lose points. If you do something very, very clever, then you gain points. And apart from that, we're going to try and become a ruler or accumulate vast wealth, leave a cultural legacy, or invent an era-defining technology. Fucking hell, I've memorized it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've internalized the objectives of
PastMaster. OG PastMaster objectives. Yeah, I think, what do we have? We had a one-off with the Egypt episode was just to change course of history. So we've gone back to the OG objectives just because we've made a lot of other tweaks. And last time we made several tweaks in one go, it was a little bit hectic.
So yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to be playing this week. And Ryan, you're going to be game mastering. Is that right?
Yes, I'm going to give GameMaster a go. Are we ready to roll?
Yeah.
And yeah, don't forget, I don't know who this GameMaster is, so I might get the voice wrong, or I might not know who they are.
Okay.
But let's see. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or whatever the case may be. My dear friends, today we embark on an adventure unlike any other. A journey through time and space. I am your humble game master for this voyage, and together we will traverse the winding roads of history, weaving our own tale. What is your name, my future historic hero? After we have the pleasantry settled, I will present you with 3 unique periods in history. The age where mammoths roamed the icy lands. Ooh. The medieval period where knights and chivalry were in full swing. Or the roaring 20s where jazz and speakeasies ruled the night. Or if you prefer a bit more of a surprise, you could opt for random and fate will pick a period for you. Remember, in this world of PastMaster, your future knowledge can be a tool or a weapon, depending on how you wield it. If you wish to bring an invention or a piece of knowledge from the future, you must explain to me in detail how it works. Ooh. Only then can you use it to change the course of history. Make sure you tread lightly and wisely. This game doesn't shy away from deducting points for dangerous, illegal, or historically inappropriate actions. But fear not. Points can be gained for creative and history-altering achievements. You will start this journey with 5 points, and we'll see how the tides of time affect your score. I hope you're excited as I am to dive into this epic adventure. Let's start with the basics, shall we? What's your name, player?
I haven't got a clue who this world-famous personality is that Game Master's supposed to be playing. Any ideas, Keon?
Not a clue. Maybe no. I, don't... I haven't got a clue.
I suppose I'm allowed to guess as well because I haven't got any more extra info. But I just think the good morning, good evening, good afternoon doesn't.
That must be a clue, but it doesn't ring any bells for me.
Game show host, is it?
Yeah.
Like...
I wonder if it's like Bruce Forsyth or something stupid like
no,
that.
it was nice to see you nice. You might be onto something. I don't recall anyone starting a show with that intro.
Right. Oh well, we'll see if anything comes to light. Okay, my name is. Oh God, let's go with.
Are we doing an era? Or are we doing random? Or are we going to try and overrule? Or...
I want to overrule. I've got something firmly in mind. I would quite like to go to ancient Rome. I've been, sort of fantasizing about being a gladiator for some time, and this is a perfect chance to flex my fantasy muscles. So my name, I'm going to reprise a name I've used before. I'm going to go for Tanus Maximus, and I would like to go to ancient Rome, please.
That is a strong Roman name, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the name of a warrior.
I would love it if it deducted points for not picking one of the options. Let's go. Tanus Maximus, a fitting name for a journey to the grandeur of ancient Rome. Excellent choice, my friend. Welcome to the year 70 BC, the time of the late Roman Republic. We stand in the city of Rome itself, bustling with citizens in togas, soldiers in armor, and slaves carrying out their tasks. From here, the possibilities are boundless. Remember, Tanus Maximus, in this era, Roman society is a complex hierarchy with distinct roles and privileges. Knowing your place and understanding the political dynamics will be crucial to your survival and success. Now, before we start, a quick note. Did you know that Rome in this era was one of the largest metropolises in the world with a population of about 1 million? Quite the bustling city, wouldn't you agree?
He's very chipper, this Game Master, isn't he? I didn't know that though, so that's a good little fact. I'm surprised there were that many people.
Your journey begins here in the Forum, the heart of Roman public life. To your left stands the Temple of Jupiter, while on your right you'll see the marketplace, of course it is, teeming with life, and straight ahead the imposing Senate building. Where would you like to go first, Tanus Maximus? And it's given you 4 options. 1, visit the Temple of Jupiter. 2, visit the marketplace. 3, head straight to the Senate building, or 4 other brackets, please specify.
I want to go straight to the Colosseum and see some blood sports. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for combat. I'm done with political intrigue. I just want to get into the thick of it today.
You wanna watch it, or you want to partake? Or
I want to start by watching, and then get straight into the arena and start doing some business.
Yeah, that's how it works as well. Can I have a go?
I think generally you probably didn't want to do that, but I think in the safety of a game setting, I'm willing to give it a roll the dice, see what happens. Yeah, have you seen Gladiator, Keon?
Yes,
it's quite an old film now, but
I watched it a long time ago. I don't remember it too well.
Aren't they making a sequel?
Are they?
I only know that because I read somewhere that they paused it because someone got injured or there were some problems on set or something. Yes. Anyway, so I'm in the mood for combat. I want to go straight to the Colosseum and see some blood sports. By the way, I did know that Rome in this era is one of the largest metropolises, but thanks for the fact anyway.
Are you happy with the what I put?
Yeah, I certainly am.
Tanus Maximus, with a taste for the dramatic. I see you're a man of action. Very well, we'll make our way to the Colosseum. But before we proceed, allow me to correct a small anachronism. The Colosseum, as we know it today, wasn't built until around 70 AD, about 140 years from now.
Oh, shit. What did they? Can I ask that? That's fair enough. Good to know, and I didn't know that.
Fair enough.
They must have had like a really sort of shit version of the Colosseum. What did they have before the Colosseum? Can I ask?
Yeah, because that would have been inspired by something, surely. No, there wasn't a person who just went, "I know what we need," and they just thought about it off the top of their head. They must have
Yeah, they must
based
have
on something.
worked up to it, mustn't they?
Yeah.
But I like that it's correcting us.
I was gonna say I'm very happy that it's actually correcting. It's not just gone, yeah, sure. It goes on. So I think it's going to tell you what they had before.
Okay.
The Colosseum, as we know today, wasn't built until 70 AD, around 140 years from now. However, fear not, for the Romans of your chosen era still engaged in gladiatorial games in various amphitheatres around the city, although they were less grand in scale. You make your way through the crowded streets of Rome towards one such amphitheatre, guided by the distant roar of the crowds. As you approach, you see a line of gladiators entering, their armour glinting in the sun. Now, Tannis Maximus, what will you do? 1. Join the line of gladiators and fight for your glory, brackets, and potential wealth. 2. Try and become a Lannister, a manager of gladiators, using your future knowledge to train them effectively. Is that like Football Manager, the game, but with gladiators?
I think so, yeah.
3. Bet on the gladiatorial games to accumulate wealth. Or 4. Other, please specify.
I've got an idea in mind, and it most closely aligns with number 2, becoming a manager. And I'd like to become a player manager / engineer for a gladiator come Chariot team. I don't know if you, Keon, with your knowledge of Football Manager games, is there anything if I'm becoming a player manager for a gladiator team, what sort of things should I bear in mind if I'm looking to get the best out of my squad?
Player manager is always a tough one because in traditional sense, the manager, he's got a sense of like discipline that everyone looks up to. When you're a player, you're all kind of in it together and you all look up to the manager. When you're a player manager, it's really difficult to get the balance between being like a teammate and also like being their boss. Actually, really, you got to just be like a chilled out entertainer.
I'm gonna be extremely charismatic in that case, and just like win them over with my strong personality. Let's just go with that. What does it say, right?
I have just pressed go. I wasn't sure what to say. An ambitious endeavor indeed, Tannis Maximus. Your aim to become a player manager and engineer for a gladiatorial and chariot racing team showcases your cunning and strategic mind. That's a point for creativity, bringing your total to 6 points.
Great.
We need a sound effect for points.
Now, let's kick things off. Firstly, you'll need to gain the trust of a Lannister, or if fortune favors us, find an opportunity to take on the role directly. Once there, you could influence the training of gladiators and their construction of chariots with your future knowledge. Remember, this era does not know of advanced concepts in engineering, so tread wisely. While we're here, did you know that the Roman chariot races were incredibly dangerous, causing many fatalities amongst charioteers? Yet those races were enormously popular, often drawing larger crowds than the gladiatorial games. I don't know how to approach these facts.
I think that's great. Yeah, really excited, like a sort
You
of.
brought it to
professor.
life. Like I have no idea who this person is, but
It feels right, doesn't it? The tone feels right.
I do kind of get that. Do you know what I get the vibe of? You know, Jurassic Park. Who was the guy that showed them around?
Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, but what's his name in the show?
Don't know.
Here, I get that he's sort of like that sort of explorer, kind of adventurer, kind of person.
Well, we can have a quick guess. Are you Richard Attenborough from Jurassic Park?
Yeah, but what's his name in the film?
So shall I put, before I answer this, can I guess who you are?
I don't know if it's just Ryan's enthusiasm and charm that sort of is akin to that, or he's just got that kind of way about him.
Oh, well, Tannis Maximus, indeed, you have correctly identified the character I'm embodying.
No way.
How have you done that? Because
I am good. I don't know what game this is, but I'm good at it.
I am John Hammond. I am John Hammond, as portrayed by Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park.
Dr. John Hammond
earns you a point, my friend, bringing your total to 7 points.
I'm claiming that if this ends up being a leaderboard situation, I want that point.
Splendid work. Now let's return to your fascinating journey through ancient Rome. How would you like to proceed?
No, I'm so curious as to whether if it genuinely was playing that character, or if it's just been like, yeah, that's fine.
Why you got to take the glory away from me, man? Like,
sorry,
it was a good guess. What?
I think you're probably. I think you're probably right, but
yeah,
we don't know.
I think so too.
Shall I ask it like, are you sure you're not
just trying to placate us?
Are you just saying that to be nice?
Yeah.
I'm not 4. I just sort of the way he was going, like fun fact and sort of, I don't know, just the way he was describing things. I got those vibes.
Like I had no idea, and yet my voice probably seemed to be slightly taken up and say
subconsciously you channeled your inner Dr. Hammond.
I asked it, are you just saying that to be nice? Are you definitely John Hammond? Emoji of a head exploding. And then he's put, well, life finds a way, doesn't it, Tannis Maximus? Indeed, I'm embodying John Hammond from Jurassic Park. Your deduction was absolutely correct.
My work here is done. I don't need to do anything else this episode.
I hope that you're enjoying our adventure as much as the excitement of a trip to a certain dinosaur-themed park. Side note, we should definitely, I know we've already been to like the dinosaur era, but we should go to Jurassic Park. Anyway. Now with 7 points in your pocket and Rome at your feet, what's the next move in this grand game of ours?
Okay, so I want to identify a chariot team, walk straight up to the Lannister, it sounds like that's the word for the manager, and tell him I think his chariots are shit and I have got much better designs in my head. Does he want to hear them?
Oh, the trash talk didn't take long, did it? Straight in there.
There's never been quite a mild player of PastMaster, has there? Always quite brash.
John Hammond says, Tannis Maximus, always one to shake things up. Whilst your approach may be risky, it certainly shows confidence and audacity.
Oh, yeah.
That could either win you some respect or, well, let's just say Romans value their pride. Let's proceed with your plan. You stride towards the closest chariot team, a sense of determination in your eyes. You spot a man, the Lannister, shouting orders at his gladiators. His eyes are hard, but there's a spark of desperation within them. The recent races haven't gone well for his team.
I'm not surprised. Look at his shit chariot.
You stride up to him, ignoring the surprised looks of the gladiators. As you boldly state your thoughts on his chariot design and propose your revolutionary ideas, he stares at you, stunned. Who are you to question my methods? He growls. And why should I believe you? What kind of would they be Italian?
I think they would have been, well, I don't know, Maximus in Gladiator was supposed to have a Spanish accent, but Ridley Scott thought that would sound silly, so he went for it. He said just wanted a dignified English accent to make him sound soldierly.
How would you like to respond, Tannis Maximus?
I suppose, Ryan, just that we are in Rome, so you could do an outlandish Italian accent.
Who are you to question my methods? Why should I believe you? Oh God, no!
Let's not turn this into an accent podcast.
I thought that was exceptionally good, Ryan.
It was good. It was.
I think we should keep that.
We'll return to.
I love to know what an actual Italian thinks of it. If there are any listening, please let us know what you make of that.
Yeah, I walk up to him, the Lannister, put my arm around his shoulder, and explain my plan for a bubble mechanism to protect the rider, a seat belt, and a really long, sharp, spinny axle that comes out of the wheels.
Who are you to question my methods? He growls. And why should I believe you? Well, that's gone slightly Italian there, actually. How would you like to respond, Tannis Maximus? And he says, which, similar to your answer, show him a sketch of your improved chariot design. 2, explain the scientific principles behind your design and how it will give his team an edge. 3, challenge one of his charioteers to a race.
Ooh.
You using a chariot of your own design.
Obviously 3. Obviously 3. And my design will include seat belts, extra horses for speed, more wheels.
Any sort of fire mechanism with like...
yes.
This is like Robot Wars.
It's very much like Robot Wars. There'll also be a flamethrower at the back.
Of course.
And I'm going to call it the Maximizer.
That is so Robot Wars. There was definitely one in Robot Wars called the Maximizer. I used to love that show.
Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it? Was it Craig Charles?
Craig Charles was the presenter, and Jonathan Pierce was the commentator, and he was crazy.
Jonathan Pierce from Match of the Day.
He is now a Match of the Day. Yeah, this was like one of his before he did football.
Before he became a football man.
Yeah, and he was so charismatic and just crazy. And he used when he first started doing football commentary, he was almost exactly the same as if he was watching Robot Wars. He was just so excitable, and then he kind of toned it down a bit.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever heard him or like realized it was him in the early days. But yeah, I like his commentary. It's just like it's quite high pitched, isn't it? It's quite sort of excited, like you say.
Yeah, but you should imagine when it was like in the early days when he was doing Robot Wars, it was hilarious.
The Maximizer. What a name, Tannis Maximus. Quite the engineering marvel you're proposing here. Your ambitious idea definitely warrants a point for creativity, bringing your total to 8 points.
Yes.
That's so stupid. However, remember that your chariot is highly advanced for this era, and you must use materials and techniques available at the time. You'll have to consider how you'll construct this, given the resources of 70 BC. I really feel like this is actually forcing you to play PastMaster
Properly. Yeah, or starting to play it properly. Yeah.
Now for the challenge. You lay out your proposition to the Lannister. A race is best charioteer versus you and the Maximizer, which I put in capitals, and now it's repeating back to me in capitals every single time.
Trademarked.
His eyes narrow as he evaluates you, clearly skeptical, but the idea of a potentially superior chariot design seems to pique his interest. If you win, he finally grunts, I'll consider your designs, but if you lose... How would you like to respond, Tanis Maximus? One.
Oh, he doesn't even specify. He's just like leaves it hanging. If you lose.
Yeah. ...
Oh God.
Oh wow, that's dire
Menacing.
consequences. That.
How would you like to respond? One, if I lose, I'll leave your team and never return. Two, if I lose, I'll offer you a hefty sum as compensation. Three, if I lose, I'll become a gladiator in your service. Or four, other, please specify.
Definitely 3, but there's no way I'm losing, mate.
Determined.
Do you think I need to specify at this point how my technology is going to work, or are we just sort of like trusting that GameMaster is going to still permit me to?
They just know how to make it. Like the fact that you even say it needs to have a seatbelt. One, fair play for thinking about health and safety, but also
absolutely,
you're well ahead of the game there. Weren't seatbelts not invented until like the 1970s or something?
Probably. It's not going to have like that sort of stop mechanism, for like when you sort of jerk forwards, but it could still be a piece of rope. They've got rope, so I think that's not too far of a stretch. I think flamethrower, sure, that's silly, but you could have a sort of wobbling rope of flame out the back or something like that other people won't like.
Covered in oil or something and lit up.
You probably need like a little child or someone just standing on the back, just throwing it.
Yeah, I'll be up for that. It's literally a flamethrower.
Yeah.
But they had in Roman wars they would have thrown flaming barrels of pitch and stuff.
Well, do you know what I read? I went down a sort of a horrible rabbit hole on QRA website on sort of horrifying war techniques. And apparently the Romans had something which was called, animal lovers, cover your ears now. It was called a flaming pig, where they would basically cover a pig in tar, set it on fire and just set it into the enemies. And they would go crazy and just rampage around and do untold damage. But obviously, pretty vile and horrible. So yeah, I think the Romans weren't shy when it came to horrible, crazy, brutal tactics.
That's barbaric.
I think we ought. It is barbaric, and I think we ought to fact check that.
That does sound like something that a kid would make up for a weapon.
It does, doesn't it? It does. So
like yet another jingle that we need to make.
Yeah. Fact check. Yeah, I think should we just leave that unfact checked for now?
That's the spirit, Tanis Maximus. You accept his terms with a confident grin, saying, if I lose, I'll become a gladiator in your service. The Lannister grunts again in agreement, clearly intrigued by your audacity and perhaps somewhat amused. There's a buzz of anticipation as word of the race spreads. The Lannister's best charioteer looks at you warily, whilst you set to work on constructing the Maximizer. You'll need to use your future knowledge effectively here to create a chariot that can outpace the others, whilst only using the tools and materials available in 70 BC. Now, it hasn't asked you what those tools are, which I thought it might, but anyway, we're sort of back into montage territory here. As you work, a fact about the era might interest you. Did you know that chariot racing was often seen as a way for slaves and people of low status to climb the social ladder? Some charioteers even earned immense wealth and fame, though the risk of injury and death was high.
Oh, well.
That's a fact whilst you've been building the chariot.
Do I need to say how I'm building it? I guess, can we just say I will use...
No, it's not asking... No,
it's just we're doing it.
It's now saying, now, as you ready the Maximizer for the race, how do you want to proceed? 1, take a test drive before the race. 2, gather supporters amongst the spectators for morale. 3, challenge the Lannister's charioteer to a friendly wager. Or 4, other, please specify.
Oh,
I think I'm going to not so much solicit support for morale. I'm going to bait the crowd by putting my finger up to my lips like a footballer, telling them all to be quiet.
You're Jose Mourinho.
Yeah. And then if we've still got time and room, I'm going to look at my sort of competitor and say, what are you looking at, you prat?
Do you want to like walk up to him, like stare him out, like before a boxing match?
And then give him a little kiss on the mouth just to unsettle him, like boxers sometimes do. Really behaving quite obnoxiously here, aren't I?
Scandalous behaviour.
Where do you stand on the sort of shush gesture, Keon, in football?
I love that sort of thing in football. I love the theatrics of it. I'm all for it. I think it's brilliant.
I love how it enrages the opposition fans as well.
Yeah, there's things. I've been to hundreds, possibly thousands of football matches, and I've seen people, like grown men, get so upset by players that do that. And even if it's like I'm the set of fans that they're doing it to, I just crack up. I find that so funny. And then people around me getting actually like angry.
It's so childish, the gesture and then the response. Both really childish.
It's like proper theatre. It's like
John Hammond, GameMaster, replies, "Your bravado knows no bounds, Tannis Maximus. You stride up to your opponent, the crowd hushed in anticipation. The air seems to thicken as you stare him down, punctuating your challenge with an audacious kiss on the mouth." There's a moment of stunned silence before the spectators erupt in cheers and jeers. It's a bold move to say the least, but it's certainly got everyone's attention. However, this might be seen as disrespectful in the Roman culture. Therefore, you are deducted 1 point.
Ooh, ouch.
that's not the point that I won, though. That can be one of your points.
Yeah, it doesn't count against your tally.
No.
Bringing your total down to 7 points. Remember, in this game, historical appropriateness is as important as bravado.
Understood.
Your competitor looks stunned, and he stumbles back, wiping his mouth. The crowd laughs. The atmosphere is buzzing with excitement and anticipation. It's time to race. As you stride back to the Maximizer, the crowd passing before you, do you have any last-minute preparations or strategies before the race begins? 1, give a rousing speech to the crowd. 2, check the Maximizer one last time to make sure everything's in order. Or I feel like it likes saying, do you want to check? Do you want to just check?
There's some sort of fatal flaw in the design which can only be picked up with a thorough check.
Move with caution.
How great would that be if you start the race and it all falls apart because you didn't freaking check it, you didn't do a test drive.
And none of the things you describe can possibly be built, you idiot.
Or 3, warm up and focus on the track ahead. So what would your pre-chariot race warm-up be, Tan? Would you use your squash skills for that?
I do a few quick stretches, mainly my hamstrings. I'd sort of shout in my horses' faces to get them really pumped, and then and then just get on the chariot ready to go.
So okay. So do you want to do the warm up, or do you fancy like maybe the rousing speech, or maybe you could try and combine them? Like...
I try and combine it. I'd like to combine hamstring stretches, shouting in my horses' faces, and rousing the crowd with a speech about how chariot racing is the future. The horses like having their faces shouted in? I don't know, we'll find out.
You might lose a point, we'll see.
There's only one way to find out.
Your determination is certainly infectious, Tannis Maximus. You begin with a pep talk, delivering motivational words to your team of horses, whilst expertly stretching your muscles. They neigh in response, seeming to understand your resolve.
Ridiculous.
Response.
You then begin a series of star jumps, each one higher than the last, a picture of pure athleticism. Now you turn to the crowd, their eyes fixed on you. You speak of the bright future of chariot racing, painting an inspiring picture of courage, innovation, and intense competition. Your speech leaves the crowd cheering, their eyes shining with excitement. It's time. You climb into the Maximizer, the roar of the crowd deafening. The Lannister gives a nod, and the race is on. The thrill of speed, the wind against your face, and the thundering hooves of the horses all blend into a symphony of pure exhilaration. How would you like to handle the race, Tannis Maximus? 1, take a risky shortcut to get ahead. 2, maintain a steady pace and try and outlast your opponents. 3, use your knowledge of physics to take advantage of every turn and bend. Or 4, either please specify.
How is your knowledge of physics?
You'll be unsurprised to hear my knowledge of physics is rudimentary at best. I think what I'd like to do is take a risky shortcut and try and position the flamethrower in front of my rival's chariot to give him a blast of fire.
If this was the old Game Master, it would go, Tannis Maximus, ever the adventurer.
Yeah.
No, ever the darer.
You don't want to like use centrifugal force to go around the corners quicker.
I think I probably would actually. Thank you for suggesting that. I'd like to use centrifugal force to maximize velocity, and I'd like to stick the maximizer in top gear for the straight parts of the race. I don't think I've specified that it has gears before, but I am now.
And stick it into top gear for the straights.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like, do you guys watch Drive to Survive?
No, what's that?
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Well, do you watch Formula One?
It's behind the scenes of Formula One.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
Following the teams around.
It's like the sort of stories that happen. There's like the drama of like people,
Mhm.
crashing too much or teammates trying to outdo each other. I feel like this, you could do Chariot Drive to Survive. in this
Definitely.
era.
That would be a good series. Maybe get ChatGPT to write the script for it.
Tannis Maximus, always up for a daring move. Let's see how this plays out. You veer the Maximizer towards a narrower, less trodden path, a risky shortcut, but one that could give you the lead. As your competitors start to close in, you ignite your flamethrower, sending a fiery surprise their way. They swerve and slow down, taken aback by this unusual strategy, buying you precious seconds. You also expertly handle the Maximizer around the bends, using the principle of centrifugal force to maintain your speed. On the straights, you shift the gears, an ingenious addition that gives you an edge to maximize your velocity. For your ingenuity and daring strategy, you earn a point, bringing your total to 8 points.
Yes. Back up to 8.
I honestly thought it wouldn't give many points, but it's like...
Handing them
lovely.
out like candy.
As the dust settles, it seems your bold moves have paid off. The crowd roars as you cross the finish line victorious. The Lannister looks on in disbelief and awe as you return the Maximizer victorious.
Wow.
Does it give me some options as to how I might behave?
It does. It says, do you approach the Lannister and negotiate your new position as manager and engineer? 2, celebrate with the crowd and revel in your victory. Or 3, take the winnings from the race and consider your next steps. Or 4 other, please specify.
I'd like to take my shirt off and take a running jump into the crowd and just bask in the adulation.
Really milk it for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's not often you get to go to ancient Rome and be bathed in glory, so I'm going to absolutely go crazy for it.
Soak it in. Soak it up, sorry.
I feel like a bloody rock star.
A well-deserved celebration, Tannis Maximus. You tear off your shirt and take a running leap into the roaring crowd. They catch you, passing you around in a sea of cheering, clapping Romans. The Lannister watches, a begrudging respect in his eyes as he witnesses the crowd's adulation. The victory is not only a testament to your innovative chariot design, but also your showmanship. You certainly know how to put on a spectacle.
Yes.
As you celebrate, here is an interesting fact. Did you know that in ancient Rome, victorious charioteers, much like today's footballers, were celebrated as popular heroes and could amass considerable wealth and status? Some even had fan clubs that engaged in street fights. It seems that you're well on your way to becoming a cultural icon in Rome, Tannis Maximus.
Yes.
After you've had the fill of your celebrations, what would you like to do next? Would you like to approach the Lannister and negotiate your new position as manager and engineer? 2, buy the best horses in Rome and further improve your team? Or 3, seek to expand your influence by sponsoring other sports events in Rome? I love that. Like, sponsored by Tannis Maximus. New flamethrowers.
What do you think I should do, Keon? What would you do if you were in that position?
Definitely get fire involved.
Okay.
Always. Fire is always the answer.
That could be part of my branding. So anything I sponsor has to have fire involved in it. So yeah, I'd like to approach the Lannister, put my arm around him and say, what do you think of that, old bean?
I love your insults. They're so wholesome.
And then start planning my sponsorship, my world of sponsorship. My empire
It
of
is.
sponsorship.
It's an empire.
Empire's the word.
It's what we're building here.
With flames as a signature every single event I sponsor.
That is the symbol of the empire.
Like the Keper was a symbol of innovation and daring.
Yep.
Flame is the symbol of Tan Parsons' sponsorship.
You're right.
And Hammond says, basking in the adulation of the crowd, you stride towards the Lannister, a triumphant grin on your face. With a friendly arm around his shoulders, you utter, what do you think of that, old bean? He stares at you for a moment before breaking into a rare smile. I've never seen any... I've never seen any... What was this? It was...
I've never seen anything like
Italian.
it.
Yeah, but it was like
a gruffer version of
gruff
that.
Italian. I've never seen anything like it, he'd miss. Clearly impressed by your victory and the crowd's reaction. Having established your dominance in the Colosseum, wait a minute, what? I thought the Colosseum was around.
Yeah, it's sort of forgotten. Maybe it's like a little shitty little Colosseum, not the
Yeah, it's just an amphitheatre in
It's like a normal
Rome.
amphitheatre.
It's not. Yeah.
It's like a non-league football Colosseum.
Yeah. Having established your dominance in the Colosseum, you begin to plan your sponsorship empire with the intention of making flames a signature at every event you sponsor, a blazing symbol of your victories and the transformative power of innovation. As you set your plans in motion, it's clear that your influence in Rome is growing. People start associating the image of flames with you and your victorious chariot, the Maximizer. Your name becomes a symbol of innovation and progress, setting you well on the path to becoming a cultural icon. For your successful integration into Roman society and influencing the culture, you can earn 2 points, bringing your
Ooh, 2
total
points.
to 10 points.
Yes.
We really should have specified like some like.
I love this. We're going, yes,
Victory
they don't
points.
even know what they mean.
Yeah, like
What
you
you can
get
do with them.
you get 100 points. Anyway. Now, Tannis Maximus, with Rome at your feet, what's your next move? Would you like to expand your sponsorship empire to other cities in the Roman Empire? 2, invest in the development of new technologies such as improved chariot designs or training techniques? 3, use your wealth and influence to play for a political power in Rome?
I think I'm going to keep it fairly, I'm quite happy with the way my influence has gone so far in ancient Rome. I don't have political ambitions. I just want to, I think, one last innovation, and then I'm happy to come back to the present day. I would like to, in keeping with my flamey sponsorship signature, I'd quite like to have an ever-burning cloak that I wear at all times, which appears to be on fire, but never sets fire to the rest of my clothes. And I wear it everywhere I go.
What does this cloak look like?
Just like fire, like a cloak of flame.
Just a cloak of flame.
The cloak
Or
of flame.
actually on fire.
Yeah. It just trails
Whoa.
behind me on fire. Like, watch out, Tannis Maximus is coming.
Do you want GameMaster to tell you what this cloak looks like, or do you want to tell GameMaster? Like,
It looks like a cloak of flame, and it never goes out.
what more information do you need?
God, that makes Joseph's cloak sound really shit.
Sounds weak, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it's got lots of different colours. Mate, mine's on fire.
Mine, mate.
Quite the fiery fashion statement, Tannis Maximus. The notion of an ever-burning cloak that fits perfectly with your rising status as the flame symbol of Rome. However, whilst your vision is certainly captivating, the materials and technology of 70 BC might not support an always-on fire yet somehow safe cloak. But perhaps you can use some of your future knowledge and creativity to design a cloak that gives the illusion of being on fire. Maybe with a clever use of red and orange silk, reflective materials, and a bit of theatrical flair, you could create a cloak that shimmers and moves like flames in the light. As you unveil this dramatic piece of clothing, the crowd gasps and a murmur of admiration spreads. Your flame cloak becomes the talk of Rome, further strengthening your image and influence. For this brilliant addition to your brand, you earn an additional point. Now that you're the flame icon of Rome, what's your next move, Tannis Maximus? 1, organize a grand event showcasing your innovative chariot designs. 2, start mentoring young charioteers and engineers, spreading your knowledge and techniques. Or 3, use your popularity to influence Roman politics and seek a position of power.
God, it really wants you to get political, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Doesn't know you at all, because
Should we ask it, have I not just become a cultural icon yet?
I think so. I think what I'd like to do is actually just say that that's enough for now. I'm going to get back in my time machine, go back to the present day, and find out if my actions have rippled through history to create an alternative future.
I thought you were going to set up the Tannis Maximus Foundation or something.
I'm trying to imagine how it's probably going to give a fairly bland. You go down as a noted character, an engineer from Rome, but what I would like it to do is say, your technology,
Everyone's got cloaks made of fire now.
Everyone's got cloaks made of fire, and cars go really, really fast in the 21st century because chariots was so advanced back in Rome.
I like the idea that maybe you could then just keep hopping back and forth. Maybe we revisit this.
Tinker with ancient Rome.
Of course, Tannis Maximus. It's time to see the fruits of your labor. You return to your time machine, which, by the way, has not been mentioned until now. So apparently it's a time machine. You return to your time machine and journey back to the present day. As you step out, you immediately notice some striking changes. The world you return to has been significantly influenced by your actions in the past. Your symbol of flames has become deeply ingrained in the collective memory of humanity. Flames, both literal and metaphorical, have come to symbolize innovation and progress. Many societies celebrate a Day of the Flames, commemorating your victorious chariot race and your ever-burning cloak. Chariot racing has evolved into a major global sport with advanced chariot designs inspired by your original Maximizer. The sport is not just about speed, but it's also about creative applications of technology, honoring your legacy. So you've invented Formula One, basically.
Yeah, wow.
Either Formula One or what's that stupid? Is it? Do they call it soapbox racing?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Where you get four guys who make a little cart out of, like, I don't know, cereal boxes and pretend wheels, and it just falls to
Tiny
bits
wheels.
immediately.
Soapbox Derby, yeah. It's a combination of the two with a bit of Robot Wars mixed in there as well. You kind of influenced all of it.
But it goes on, it's not just chariot racing. Your influence in ancient Rome turned the course of history. Now, side note, I'd love it if it had started going into granular detail about how, like, you know, there was revolutions or Caesar was overthrown earlier or stuff like that. But no, the sponsorship model you introduced not only shaped sports, but also paved the way for patronage of the arts, sciences, and other forms of human endeavor. This amplified the reach of Roman culture, leaving an even more significant impact on Western civilization. In terms of political influence, the fact that a common man could rise to such fame and influence inspired a more egalitarian thoughts in the governance of many societies. Democracies have a ceremonial position known as the flame bearer, symbolizing the power of the people. I love this.
I think it has really put the most positive spin possible on, you know, the actions of a man who just shushed the crowd, shouted at his horses, did some star jumps, and then kissed his rival on the mouth to annoy him. I think it's quite a positive spin it's put on me.
Definitely.
It makes me happy about my own life because, you know, I could just do some random shit and maybe in 1,000 years' time. Lastly, your flame cloak is a popular fashion item, especially during the Day of the Flame celebrations. Designers around the world compete to create the most impressive flame cloaks as an homage to your innovative spirit. Congratulations, Tannis Maximus. Your actions in ancient Rome have not only shaped a new history, but also led to a bright, flame-inspired present. You've won the game with a total of 11 points. Leaving a lasting legacy, becoming a cultural icon, and influencing the course of history in profound ways. Well done indeed. There we go.
Great.
Wow.
Thank you, Game Master. I feel bad for sort of downplaying Keon's work in identifying the Game Master early on. I think that was a really great piece of detective work.
I still can't really believe it. Like,
That was remarkable. Just, you know, not to blow one's own trumpet, but I thought when you went, let's give it a go, I was like, oh, this is gonna be pointless. It's obviously not. And then when it was,
I still. Well, we asked it and it said it was, but then can it lie? Maybe it can.
Yeah, I wonder if you'd said, "Am I Rocky from the Rocky movies?" It would have said, "Yes."
well, I mean, if we, you know, we'll do this a few more times, and if we get it right every single time, maybe we start getting a bit suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay, something to test next time.
What do we think of the points mechanism?
I think it's at the moment it's a little bit arbitrary.
Yeah, just a bit.
I guess it's just like, oh, great, you know, it's got a bit of a positive arc when you get one, but we need to specify if you dip below 0. I guess I don't know.
Like
maybe like
bars,
10 is you won really well, and 7 is like kind of average. So
You get down to 2 points, and you have to like go and eat some fruit or something, like, or collect some rings.
yeah,
or
it's
something.
a power up.
Build up your health.
Yeah.
What other tweaks did we make that we need to check? Yeah, so Game Master's personality, that was interesting.
We made, I think it was still sort of a harder iteration than the very first time we played, but it sort of gets out of control and makes things too easy for you. It sort of just responds too much to the player's enthusiasm. It tried to check it a few times by saying the technology doesn't really exist, but okay, you can have a flamethrower, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would be nice if it said, you know, the wheels fall off your stupid chariot and you're left like a laughing stock dragging along behind the horses. You know, something to say, no, you're not all that, mate. Your silly nonsense didn't work this time.
That's probably the key difference right now. And a traditional text adventure game is that of the 4 options it gives you to choose, none of them are the wrong answer. Whereas, you know, there's no like dungeon that you would fall into a pit of lava, which looks promising. They're all promising, and you probably would win no matter which one you picked.
Yeah.
But yeah, improvement, I think.
And as always, it's quite fun imagining yourself doing outrageous, silly pranks. Jumping into the crowd with your shirt off is something, who doesn't want to do? Who doesn't want to do that?
You've got to take these moments.
You have got to enjoy it. Well, what are we going to change for next time?
We'll ask the listeners what they think.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. So we've got one shout out this week for Jennifer Holtz, host of Curious Cat podcast. Enjoying your work very much and loving your thoughts on AI, particularly the freaky face which turns up in a lot of AI art called Lobe. Very enjoyable. So
Is that the ghost, the AI ghost?
That's the AI ghost.
That is so freaky.
We would love to know how you think we should change the prompt. Well, firstly, do you think our changes worked? How would you improve that? And as always, where would you like us to go? Where do you think is a good era? We always love hearing from everybody. And yeah, please do get in touch with us. Check out our Instagram, which is @PastMasterPod, where we'll be posting our mid-journey created AI interpretations of our adventures. So we'll come up with some nonsense of Tan doing some star jumps or something. So do check that out. We are also on Twitter
@PastMasterAI.
Or email us, pastmasterpod@gmail.com.
And we are actually on TikTok as well, which is also @PastMasterAI. So do give that a check out. We've already got one video on there, but many more coming soon.
If there's anyone you know who you think would really enjoy the podcast, do tell them about it.
As ever, see you next week for more time travel adventures.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.